Hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do. So here on Let's Talk Ray Bradbury, I have been reviewing the short stories of Ray Bradbury. I'm currently working from this collection, the stories of Ray Bradbury's. I previously read from a collection called Bradbury's Stories. In all, there's going to be over 200 reviews in this playlist, so I hope that you will join me in this exploration and oftentimes a revisitation for me personally of some great classic Ray Bradbury tales going all the way back to the 1940s and then up until his death not too long ago, really. But today we are looking at Uncle Einar from 1947. This story is a sort of sequel to our previous story, The Homecoming, in which Uncle Einar was a character, and the uncle to a character named Timothy, and he's a creature of some sort with large green wings. So one day, before a storm, Uncle Einar's wife asked him to fly up in the air, trailing behind their clothesline to dry off the clothes before the storm strikes. And he finds this to be a little bit degrading to do, but he does it to keep his wife happy. And this act triggers a memory in him, and we are flashed back to the time when he met his wife. One time, on his way home from a reunion, he's flying by night over Illinois, and he crashes into a power line. He's injured, he falls to the ground, and because he can't fly by day and risk being seen, he hides under a tree back in a thicket and tries to wait it out. He is found there, surprisingly, by a woman who sort of considered herself to be very ugly. He does not believe she is ugly. At first, she thinks that he's just a man sleeping under a tent, and then as he moves, she realizes that he has great big green wings covering him, and she should be frightened by rights. Anybody else would be frightened by him, but she's not, and so they strike up a relationship. The two are married, Einar and Brunilla. They have 4 kids. They're very accepting of one another, and by all rights, they have a happy life. However, Uncle Einar, unable to fly by day for risk of being seen by outsiders, and unable to fly by night because of his loss of vision from growing older, I guess, and from his injuries, he's chafing a little bit. He doesn't know what to do. He misses being able to fly by night and to sort of enjoy the stars and the cool air and all of this. One day, his 4 children come to him and they say, come see us, Papa. We're going to the kite flying hill and we're going to fly our kites. He's like, I can't, I'll be seen. Oh, you can hide, it's fine. And this gives him an idea. He decides to grab a piece of crepe paper and a ball of twine, and he disguises himself as a great big giant kite. All the other townsfolk's children see this kite, and they ask his kids, where did you get it? Where did you get it? And they say, of course, that my father made it for us. And this memory is connected, of course, to the beginning of the story where he's flying with a trail of clothes behind him, and it's sort of a triggered memory in a very peculiar person. So this is a beautiful sort of fable type tale. It just has that sort of quality about it that could come from an old fable book, and here we are trying to be taught a lesson about acceptance, but also I think there's a deeper thing going on too, other than just acceptance and the fact that we have these 2 sort of outcasts who come together and have pretty normal children and a happy, loving family. I think the other thing going on is this idea that here's a man who, by all accounts, is a monster, but he's a good person, and family life, while he enjoys it, he's chafing under that sort of monotony and sort of the loss of his liberation and his freedom and all that he knew as a younger man, as a bachelor. And I think that sort of, that vein is running through the whole story where he sort of regrets. It's like the young man who used to ride motorcycle and go on adventures and travel the world, and then he gets married and maybe the finances aren't quite as good, and he finds himself saddled by responsibilities, and he while he doesn't resent those responsibilities, they are important, and he can't help but miss his youth and his sort of freewheeling wild days. I think that sort of is going on here as an undercurrent. So, as is always the case with these Ray Bradbury stories, and what makes them so excellent and so timeless is that what seems like just a goofy little kid story about a monster is in fact got some pretty deep topics just sprinkled throughout it without being overbearing, without being too preachy, but they're there for your mind and for your imagination to take hold of and to chew on until you read your next story. So, yeah, guys, Uncle Einar, 1947 by Ray Bradbury, another excellent little tale from this story, from this book of stories. Tune in again in a couple of days. We'll discuss the next story in this book, which appears to be The Traveler. So, yeah, I look forward to sharing that with you. Also, look for me to conclude very soon my exploration of Clive Barker's Books of Blood. So that's coming up as well. Thank you again, once again, for tuning in. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon.